So I'm going to bring up three other powerful women that you guys might know or might not know, and you'll get to learn a little bit about today. We have Charlene Gray, Karen Downey, and Michelle Moss. So I always like to, start this off a little bit about, I was a teacher. I taught high school for 14 years, and when I decided to be a stay-at-home mom that doesn't ever stay home, one of the best things was to join the chamber and to learn about how businesses can truly help you as you are developing and learning and networking out in the community. And so I really, today is Thank the Chamber Day, and I do want to give a special thanks once again to them, because transitioning from education to business has been a very fun journey, and I couldn't do it without the chamber. So let's give them one more big round of applause. I'm not going to sit because I don't do that, okay? Come get you ladies going. So they're really nervous, all right? And I told them, just pretend you're talking to me. What's the big deal, My husband calls me the question master. I'm always like, what are you doing? What's going on? What's this? All the things. I got to know all the details, all right? So, just pretend none of these people are out here. Karen wrote all of her answers, and I'm taking them away. She hates me. Yeah, she loves me. I'll leave them right here. Okay. But I got to tell you something super funny. They send us these questions, and they say, okay, tell us how you start your business, what challenges you have. I was in a meeting the other day, and somebody said, you only need to ask people these three questions. Are you guys ready for them? And I want you to just kind of ponder on how you would answer them. You guys don't have to answer because I have real questions for you, but I just want to get the audience engaged, because they're actually really hilarious. How many pillows do you sleep with? How many times do you wear jeans before you wash them? And what's your favorite way to eat a potato? I mean, you can really learn a lot about a person from those three things, right? Okay, so make it later before you go, find a new friend and ask them those questions. So, do either of you want to share one of those answers to that? Favorite way to eat a potato? I know, Michelle's
I was going to tell you the jean one. Google that, because it is crazy.
You're supposed to put them in the freezer.
No, and there are some jean companies that say don't wash your jeans. No.
Yeah, Baldwin Denim that was in Kansas City, you had to put it in the freezer. Yeah, I still have a pair. They're not in the freezer, but
they're getting lost.
Michelle, your favorite way to eat potato is hopefully big boy tater tots, because that's mine, right? Okay. All right, let's get started and learn about these awesome women and their businesses. So I'm going to hand you the mic. You're going to tell us your name, your date of birth, your name, your business, and then pass it down.
My name is Karen Downey, and I'm with Downey Construction. And I know she didn't ask me to do this, but I've been with the Chamber, associated with the Chamber for over 25 years.
Yes.
Bob Glazer over here. So I'm happy to be here, and I just want to say one other thing. I'm really happy to see so many new, younger people that have come to join the Chamber, because we've been working on that for a long time, so I'm really pleased to see that.
I'm Charlene Gray. My business is, thank you. It's the Cleaning Crew of KC. We're a commercial cleaning business.
I'm Michelle Moss, and I am the president of Blair's Foster Socks nonprofit foundation. I am the owner of Under the Awning Gift Boutique in Historic Independence. I'm the owner of Big Boy Burgers at 40 Highway in Chrysler. And I'm now the owner of Donut Envy Independence.
Food truck.
Food truck.
And if you see a running donut in the streets, it's her.
That was me in the city parking lot.
The other night, she was in a full-fledged inflatable donut costume, and people were like, who is that on the street? That was Michelle. I love it. All right, when you own a business, you never know what you're going to do. So the first question, speaking of, what inspired you to start your own business, and what challenges did you face initially? So I'm going to start with Charlene. I know, sorry, she was thinking hard over here, so that's a teacher in me. I get you when you know me.
Okay, well, what inspired me to start my business is Actually, I was doing it for 21 years before yes, I am that old.
Oh.
I know, I surprised everybody, but yes, I am that old. I had been doing,
Oh, sorry.
I had been doing commercial cleaning for other people for 21 years. And so as my daughter started getting older in high school, and I was a foster parent, and so these people are growing up, and they're coming back, hey mom, thinking I'm the ATM. No, I'm not. So when I
Put 'em to work.
Yeah, so I had a friend, he owned a commercial cleaning business, so I said, okay, can I contract for you? And so I was doing that for him for a while, started noticing, hey, wait a minute, hold on, I'm making a lot of money, why don't I start doing mine? So last year, I went ahead and got everything in my name, quit my corporate America job, and
Okay, I still have my paper. They say, you need to be prepared. So when I was putting this together, I thought, oh my gosh, I better sit down and write this out because I have a tendency to go off target. So I'm probably a little bit different than some of these, other than the fact that I'm the oldest one up here. But I actually had no plans to go into my own business at all. So yeah, and I said actually I wasn't inspired to start my own business and had no intentions of doing so. But I happened to work for a company for 23 years, Panhandle Eastern Pipeline Company, and they helped me make the decision. They decided to leave Kansas City and move their operating headquarters to Houston, Texas. So I had a decision that I had to make. Do I stay or do I go? And I didn't go. That's right.
Real deal.
I didn't go. Fortunately, I was invited to go, but that just didn't work out for me. My husband had a business here, and I was helping take care of my elderly mother, who I couldn't leave, and didn't want to try to take her to Houston, Texas with me. So I made the decision to stay here, and I was just going to take off from the corporate world for about a year, and then I was going to go back into business. So that all changed too, because about that time my husband had an opportunity to get a new account and grow a little bit, and he needed some help. So I agreed to go help him. Lord Almighty, was that a change from the corporate world? You're leaving the corporate world in a position. And my background was in human resources and college recruiting, and you leave a position with a corporate company, and then you go into a small business, not only a small business, but a business with your husband, and in the construction industry. So we had
a whole different planet.
we had many challenges, that's for sure. I think that's pretty much all I need to say about that, except we were challenged. Oh, darn, she's going to take my knee again.
I'm just teasing you. It's fun.
All right, thank you. Let's give her a round of applause for that one.
What's the question?
Yeah.
What inspired you to start your own business, and what do you face? What did you face initially?
I give the credit to starting my own business to my parents. I grew up, my parents were entrepreneurs and business owners. My parents owned a clothing store in Michigan called Bryman's. And the businesses that you know about are some of the, I've had many other businesses in my lifetime. But marrying my husband, Brian, 18 years ago, we owned Farnborough Auto Company together. And when he was nearing the time of wanting to retire from that business, he'd been in for almost 40 years because his father owned an alarm company. We had talked years prior to owning a restaurant, and Big Boy Burgers. And Brian grew up with that family, with all their kids, and mentioned, if you ever want to sell, please talk to us. And I tell
what you wish for, right?
Yeah, I tell everybody, he got the sentence out of his mouth, and I was at closing signing paperwork. But one of the jobs that, I shouldn't call it a job, but I aspired to be a chef and own a catering company. And for a while I owned my own catering company. And so the restaurant seemed to be natural but fast food is a whole different world. So learning all of that has been pretty interesting and a lot of fun. But I would say hand in hand, the businesses that we have, I give credit to my husband and I together. Many of you may know my personal story, but Under the Awning was founded as in, if you're gonna do it, do it. And it's been an opportunity in my life to use a different energy, to persevere, but yet to a different avenue to give back to the community and beyond. So, here we go.
All right.
If you don't know Michelle personally, Under the Awning, every item in the store gives back in a different way. So when you buy something, not only are you buying local, but you are also giving back to whatever their charity or organization is, and that's a really special, token when you're buying something for somebody, knowing that not only is it a gift for them, but it's also helping someone else out. And so Michelle doesn't give herself enough credit for that type of thing, and it all started with Blair. So it's a very special thing that we have in our community. So you don't give yourself enough credit for that. So, all right, next. How have you balanced your personal and professional life throughout building a business? Karen, you already told us you work with your husband.
That wasn't one.
Yes, I changed it. Mark printed it for me.
Which one is it?
Number 2.
Don't be taking
She made it up. I made it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I want to talk about your potatoes, okay? No,
I wouldn't be surprised. It took a lot of work and understanding because, number one, I'd never been in that type of environment and working with my husband. And so we came from different areas, and so I had a lot to learn. And I said earlier I was in human resources and personnel and college recruiting. And when you work for an organization and you do most of the hiring, and when I started at Panhandle, there were only, I think, about 300 people. And when they left Kansas City, it was 1,000. So during that time, I did a lot of hiring, and so I knew everybody. They knew me because I was in personnel, and that's where you go to when you have a problem. You need somebody to solve it. So I was used to talking and working with employees in the company, and so I knew them, and I could get answers to them because if I couldn't answer them, which occurred, I knew where to go to get the answers. So when I went into business with Ron, I'm like, okay, I'm going into a construction business. Now, I helped him just do paperwork for, off and on, but nothing. And I thought, I really don't know anything about this. So I found it very challenging to go from a place where you knew all the answers, and if you didn't know the answers, you knew where to get them, to going into business with him. So I felt the only way I could do that would be to ask a lot of questions and learn. Well, he took it as challenging. I mean, when you're in human resources, you learn how to speak diplomatically to people, and you don't think you have to do that when you're working with your spouse. You get coming from a family situation. So I would start asking questions, and he would start to get a little tense, and I would say, hey, I don't know the answers to this. So the only way I'm going to learn about this construction business and what we're going to do is to work together. So it took us about 2 years. And finally, we realized that once we learned each other's role, and it wasn't mom and dad and all of that, we were going to be business partners, then we sort of settled in and started working towards that. And fortunately, we have been working together for 34 years now, and we're still married. So that's
Now, like 5 o'clock, do you turn off the conversation of work? Like, do you have a 5 o'clock? We're not talking about construction, or is it just go?
No, we don't, and that was going to be in my last thing. But I have the answer to that. No, we don't, because going through when you own your own business, as I'm sure everyone here does, it's 24/7. It's not 9 to 5. And I know that several training courses and all of that I've been through, they say, when you own your own business and it's a family business, don't take it home. Well, I can't do that. I don't know how anybody does that because it's, yeah, well, and I haven't learned to do that. I still take it home. And now our son runs a business with us, and I know when we get together for family get-togethers or things, we'll be sitting there, we do all the drinking and talking and visiting kids and family, and then I'll look over and I'll say, where were you going to go on Monday? Which job are you going to do Monday? So it's like, I can't turn it off.
Yeah,
It's hard. Yeah.
All right, good, thank you. Turning it off is hard for everybody. All right, we'll have Joe next.
Okay, question again.
Okay, question again. How have you balanced your personal and professional life throughout this journey of building a business?
It is completely tangled. It is all together. It's just like she said. I just recently sat in the middle of the night and woke him up to ask him a question, or Rachel sees me over there writing post-it notes of things we need to do. I balance it with an amazing husband. We have a fantastic relationship, and I give a lot of credit to having a wonderful assistant who is not, you see her in the storefront quite a bit, but she is in every aspect of our businesses and my personal life. When I travel, she's checks on things at our home. So really, I give the credit to positive, healthy relationships.
Good. All right. Charlene, how have you balanced your personal and professional life throughout this journey?
Well, I don't balance it. For me,
There's no balance.
my business is a passion. It's not a business. For me, my business isn't a business, it's a passion. I love doing it. And I love my employees that I have, so I really don't have to balance it. You know, people say you need self-care or whatever. I'm like, but what I'm doing is self-care. When you help other people, that is your self-care.
Amen.
So for me, I don't need to balance it. It's okay.
Good. Yeah. Now, you mentioned earlier your children coming back and not being the ATM. Do any of them work for you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even my grandchildren. Even your grandchildren. Okay, cool. So I love that everybody's keeping it in the family. With all these big Walmarts coming in and those kinds of things, I love hearing how women are including their families through every aspect. So that's super cool.
We're the new age Waltons.
The new age Waltons. Oh man. Oh no, I went to a Barbie party with that chick one. Okay. Let's see. Number 4. My friend was married to the younger Walton growing up, so not married anymore. What advice would you give aspiring women entrepreneurs who wish to venture into similar industries? Read it again. What advice would you give aspiring women entrepreneurs who wish to venture into similar industries? Charlotte. You can think about it for a second.
Well,
I haven't had that answer.
the advice I have given the young lady that I'm mentoring right now is to know your craft. Don't start a business and don't know it. I mean, for me personally, for what I do,
You've done it for so many years. Right.
And especially being a woman, because in my industry, it's more of a male-driven. Because most people think when I say I have a clean business, that's why I would say commercial clean. Everybody thinks that we're married maids. No, we don't touch houses. No, we're only commercial clean. And so I always tell young ladies that I talk to that want to start commercial clean, know your craft. Because it's a totally different beast doing commercial clean compared to a home. So that's what I do.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Joe. Repeat the question. What advice would you give aspiring women entrepreneurs who wish to venture into similar industries?
I have mentored a lot of young women, and I think I give the example. Consistency, perseverance, and integrity. There's one sitting in the room right now that I could get up, hand my keys and phone, and walk out to an island, and she could handle it. And so,
Let's go.
I really, right, exactly, I wish. Tell that to my husband. We were retiring and now we haven't done a business. So, just the encouragement, the positivity. I mean, I really, my whole life have been, a you go girl, or, if you gotta get off the porch to do it. And just, I've always had a healthy, positive outlook, and I really encourage that for other women, young girls, and I truly believe that is a big part of inspiring anybody in their business. I will tell you a story real quickly about being in the restaurant the other night. We catered dinner for an event here locally, and we did Big Boy. And as I was picking up the food, we were talking about reviews. I was talking with one of the young men that works for us, and he goes to the Herman Career Center, and he said he's actually read every review about Big Boy. When you buy a business, you get the reviews that come with it. But the encouraging thing was to listen to him about the review he wrote, as a customer's perspective, but also as somebody that aspires to be a business owner. And in that conversation, he says, I'm studying marketing, and I'd really like to learn how to do some of the social side of marketing. And, I didn't quite jump up and down and move him. Yes, I'm excited to hand that torch to somebody else, because you can imagine all of it, the social medias and marketing that comes along with it. But to be encouraged by somebody to just hear their passion, that is a big thing to run with for any young people, because there are a lot of passionate young people in and around our communities, and especially in our lives. So I think encouraging them, to take the reins and run, that, we all make mistakes, good, bad, and ugly. You just gotta put your feet on the floor in the morning and keep it moving.
Love it. All right.
I can't top that. I guess because what I was going to say is don't go into business with your husband.
That's good advice too. That's very good advice too.
I would have never understood that until I did. But I would just say, the same as what we've all said up here, is research what it is that you're going to do. I didn't research it because I just, I didn't start my own business. I just, jumped in. And, but I would say research it, find out as much as you can about it, and find a mentor or mentors. I had excellent mentors, men and women at Panhandle Eastern Pipeline Company for all those years. So I had that opportunity, but I think that it's very important. And then get involved in associations that are in the same industry and seek out advice from other women that have worked in the construction industry. I mean, I was in the construction industry, but I'm the only woman in the office or the outside or wherever.
The only woman.
The only woman, yeah, they're all men.
That's
so.
a you go girl.
I know, so it's like, okay, I'll tell you one quick story about going into business with your husband, is that I went with him to a first meeting. We've got a job with Missouri Gas Energy. And so I was going to a meeting with him for the very first time. And so I got all dressed and I put on a pantsuit and I went with him. And he said, "You're not at Panhandle Eastern anymore." I'm like, well, so what? I guess he wanted me to wear jeans and boots or something. And I'm like, I can't do that. I look pretty good, But it's like, it's a different world. And one other quick story. During that meeting, he also referred to me as Mom. Okay. I'm like, I can't believe he just called me Mom in this courtroom. So I stayed.
What'd you respond with?
I stayed calm. I continued to act professionally. And when we left, I said, "Don't you ever call me Mom in a meeting again." But, that's who I was, a wife and mom to him almost. And, my son does it now too. We're out and working and he'll call and say, or he'll refer to me as Mom. And so I'm thinking, well, now I'm older, it's okay. But when I first started, it did not make me happy to be called Mom in a meeting.
Love it. All right.
Well, that's good advice. All right, big question. Are you ready?
Oh, let me see.
Okay. How do you maintain strong networks and supportive partnerships within the business community? How do you maintain strong networks and supportive partnerships within the business community? So, I know something Charlene can talk about. What do we do together?
We are ambassadors
There you
for
go.
the chamber. Yes.
So tell us a little bit how that helps your business.
Well, just the relationships. And I was talking to the ladies before we got on here, and I was just telling them, for me, relationships is everything. When I meet people, I don't talk about my business starting out. I don't say, oh, I'm Charlene from Clean Crew KC, because nobody really cares about that. I like to meet people to see if I even like them first. I mean, I'm just being honest, because the thing of it is me and my employees, well, I'll say all of my employees because they work more than I do, but my employees are the ones that are gonna have to deal with these people. And if they don't like them, I don't want my employees going into those buildings. So if I don't like them, most likely my employees aren't gonna like them. Or I feel that they're gonna look down on my employees for being cleaners, which I think, and I tell my employees this, we're the best people in the world anyway, because without us, people will still be sick. You know, different things like that. We make their spaces look beautiful, we keep people healthy. So if people can appreciate us for that, I don't want you as a client. So for me, I have to get to know people first and build relationships before I really want you as a client. You know, I can take people on and they may have to get fired every once in a while because, you know, I didn't get to really get to know them. But for me in the community, I just love relationships. I mean, meeting everybody, coming to these type of events, me being a part of other chambers and being on other boards, those are really how I've been really able to build my business and sustain it. It's just meeting really good people like you all and just having fun and just being myself. You know, because anybody knows me, you may not know what my color of hair is going to be.
Yeah.
Next week is changing everyone. So
Depends on what outfit you're wearing, right? I mean, look at that coordination, you guys. Come on. Okay. All right, Michelle. How do you maintain strong networks and supportive partnerships within business communities?
I am kind of old school in business, mentored by my father. I grew up building a book of business. It was a little binder, and I still have, I think people call it Rolodex, do you get to a certain point, it's Rolodex.
Rolodex.
Now it's
Black book.
Now it's the computer, but it is a relationship building business. All of the businesses that we have are business related, and I will use the store as an example. A lot of people refer to the people that come in the door as customers, but there's a relationship, and they are repeat, return. It's a relationship. They want to know when the new merchandise comes in. They want to know when the season changes. They want to know when we're hosting an event. And it would be remiss for me not to return to the alarm business. You buy your alarm for your home or your business, but then you have to have somebody monitor that. My husband grew up in the business, in the alarm business, when the call would come into the office, and he would be sitting in what is a closet on a property most of you are familiar with. His father's alarm company was on Van Brunt, where the McDonald's is located. So the phone would ring, he'd answer the phone, central station, look at the Rolodex, pull out the card, you know, and say, oh, Eileen where? Call Eileen. And then Eileen may say she's not home. And sometimes in the alarm business, when we knew that, we knew our customers so well, my husband and I would get up and drive to the home or the business of whoever. Sometimes there was a local dance company that their employees just didn't shut the door. So we shut the door for them, reprogram the alarm, but saved them the cost of the police, fire, things like that. So it's really just personal from the ground up. But then you have relationships with the representatives, the people who are buying the product, buying the food. You get to know their families, holidays come. And there's nothing more fun than the industries that we're in. It's service industries. So the food and the gifts is just a fun overall, opportunity to do business.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. How do you maintain maintain strong networks and supportive partnerships within the business community. The original godmother,
Yes.
okay, right? If you know, you know.
Yes, I'm the original, and here's the young one. Thank God there's another one. It was a lot of fun. I didn't really know what to do when I came from the corporate community. I mean, I'm looking out on the audience here, and one of the first people that I met when I worked at Panhandle Eastern Pipeline was Bob Glazier. Our companies belonged to the United Way, and we were year-round companies, and there were 6 companies in that area, and they were divided into divisions, and I was in the division, and Bob was with Ben, no, who were you with? Sears. Sears, yes, he was with Sears. Anyway, so this is kind of an old cliche, I think, but I really had to reinvent myself because I was used to working in the organization where I had resources at, I pick up the phone or walk down the hall and you had all the resources you needed. So when I went into business with Ron, not only I was at home and I was in my office myself was just, in our home, and it's, I'm me and 4 walls. There's no one that can tell me what to do. So I started reaching out and I wondered what to do. And one of the first things I did was join the Independence Chamber. And that's been many, many years ago. And through that association and my involvement there, again, it's say yes when you're asked to do something. So I got involved in that, and I worked on many committees. And one of the first committees, I'll tell you, is kind of interesting, was called, I really don't like this name, but it was called the DIPS. The diplomat, they called us the DIPS. Anyway, and I met one of the first persons that I met was the chair of that group, and that was Bob Robinson, who actually was with the Independent School District, and he was housed out of this building.
Yeah, it's facilities.
Facilities right over here. And he just gave me a call one day and said, can you come take a look at something? And so I sent someone over. And he and the Independent School District has been a customer of ours for all those years. And that was just the first kind of relationship. Another kind of interesting story, I think. Metzler might not agree with it, but after we grew a little bit, we bought a building on Nolan Road. And it happened, we didn't buy it from him, but it so happened one day that he came by and his dad owned that building and had a business in it. And so, everything goes around differently. And so in the process of trying to reinvent myself with the chamber, I got involved and met a lot of people and served on committees and did whatever needed to be done. And I had that opportunity to meet so many business leaders in the community that were involved in the educational, the political, the city, all of those things. So that was great. I needed that because sitting in a room with just myself and 7 men and workers and my husband and my son being one, I needed to have that ability to get back out in the community and be involved in people. And that's how I learned about the community, and it has been a wonderful time for me. So, and I know, probably not too long ago, I would have known everyone in this room. And today, there are not that many people that I've met and have business with, but there again, I'm saying how wonderful it is that we have new, younger people and businesses coming. So that's how
That's it. Good.
All right. So all you young kids out there, I'm old, I'm over the hill now. So.
Yeah, right.
That's a true testament of what the chamber can do for you. And, using these times to network and get to know each other and build those relationships. That's what these ladies have said through and through, is that utilizing our community, the chamber, the networking, and just each other. There's so much wealth of knowledge within these walls right now, of these tables of people that can help you to help your business to grow. I'm looking out and I can see all kinds of different places and people that we use, that we connect with, that help us to make our businesses thrive. And so really take that time when you're at these events to get to know the people in these rooms, because you never know how they can help you and what they can do to help your business thrive. So, ladies, I want to thank you all again for being here, for sharing a little part of your story and your heart and your business, because like you said, your business came from that heart and it's what you do every day and it's your passion. We want to thank you guys so much for sharing that, just that story of there's all kinds of different ways it can happen. None of these started the same. And so hopefully that will inspire you today to get out there and keep going with whatever it is your goal or your passion is. And we just want to say thank you. So let's give these ladies one more round of applause. All right, so I gotta ask them really quick, what's your favorite way to eat a potato?
My what?
Favorite way to eat a potato. It's not on your list.
Baked.
Baked. Baked.
Tater tots, come on.
Baked potato. All right, and I was just gonna say, and one more, if they have any little last tidbit that you want to share, here you go.
One thing I just want to share is that by being involved in the chamber and getting involved in so many different organizations, not only do you have the opportunity to meet all the other people in businesses, but you also have the opportunity to meet your mayors, the superintendents of your schools. I do see we have our mayor here today, and we have our past mayor here. And through that organization, I personally have had the opportunity to meet and work with 3 mayors of the City of Independence. And throughout that organization, or that relationship, I've had the opportunity to help others. And I feel strongly that when we're in a position to help others, it's our responsibility to do that. Not to help ourselves, but if you're on a board or you are involved in something and you have the opportunity to help someone else in the community, it's your responsibility to do that. So I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else from you, ladies, that you'd like to share? All right, Charlie, you got one more thing?
I just wanted to say thank you to the chamber and also to the mayor. He's always so nice to me every time we're out, even not at these events, but me and him, we've seen each other out, and he's really nice to me. But I really do want to thank the chamber here. Ever since I started, they've been really welcoming to me, and I'm actually going to be a board member.
Oh,
Thank everybody for being here, and everybody that's at the tables that I do know, I thank you guys as well. So my clients are here, thank you, man. And also Danielle. And that goes back to what I was just saying, the relationships and people just making you feel like you're family. And that's why I love this chamber. Like I said, I am a part of some other ones, but this one is my favorite because it is big, but it's still small enough to where I can know everybody here and still just be friends with everybody. So, all right.
Michelle. Okay, Michelle's good.
They refer to mayor, but our mayor, Gordon Rowland, also was our state representative who has walked with me many times in Jefferson City as I persevere and continue to lobby for Blair's Law, making celebratory gunfire felony. And really, every table there is somebody that has touched my life personally in some way, so I'm very thankful for that. And our businesses couldn't survive without the chamber. I mean, it's like, our roof, and I think of how many times I was calling a residential roofer for our commercial buildings. I learned so much about roofing. Every time the residential roofer was out there, it was fine, everything looked fine, but then I'm like, in this 105-year-old building, why is water still coming in? And once the commercial roofer came, we took about 5 layers off the building over there. so, which took a little weight off those brick walls, which was pretty nice. But absolutely, you know, I'm thankful for Mayor Eileen Ware. There's just so many people, and the persistence of the chamber, that even if it's not an opportunity for you right now to sign up and volunteer, the opportunity is there year after year. Because not only with our businesses, I have 2 small granddaughters, and it has been a gift for me to be their caretakers. So I would give that opportunity back, but sometimes when people aren't in our midst, it's nice that the chamber shows up and asks how you are or where have you been at, and there's always a list of events that if it didn't work this month, there's something you can pick next month. So that for me has been tremendous. So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take away a little bit of your nuggets of inspiration and empowerment and go out and keep doing all of these great things in the world. And that's for you men too, okay? Because, you know, we all need each other. Everybody is here to support each other. And that's what I was saying earlier. When you look out and you see these businesses support each other through and through. And that's what is so unique about independence. And I could go on and on about my love for independence and how the business people take care of each other, but it is what they do. So thank you, ladies. Appreciate you. Let's give them one more round of applause.